everyone's another week and another epic show of The Uncomfortable Truth. You're supposed to say it. Oh, you muted. I think you're muted.
No, I was mouthing it.
Oh, damn. I was waiting on you to come in. That would have been perfect. You're supposed to be of the day.
Okay.
So how you been? How you been?
I've been good. I've been watching your content on TikTok this week, and it been having me live. The gentleman who took your video and then made himself another video out of it, I took some of his sounds and stored them in my phone because I thought they were so funny. Like I'm like this. I almost said something bad. This person, this Negro.
Did you see my response video?
Yeah, I thought it was funny. You called him
his ass up.
You called him a black woman.
I sent him a message. I said, "Hey, ma'am, any day, anytime, any microphone, me and you can go head on head, and I will eat your ass up." Because we were it was just a conversation about something that I was talking to my followers on my page, minding my business.
I actually thought that was great advice. I actually thought I understood it 100%. I thought it was phenomenal advice. I'm like, yeah, because especially the day that we live in now, every girl want to be prostituted. You're right. She want to go on a date. You got to buy her a steak. He didn't make no sense. If you get a steak, then she get a steak. Like, no.
Like, listen, I was just giving advice for young brothers to be able to weed out the individuals that are literally just dating you to gain something. Because if a woman is really interested in you, she don't give a damn what y'all go do. Y'all can go chew bubble gum for all she care. She's interested in you, not what you can get her. So I was like, listen, if you go to her and you get her number and you're courting her and you saying and doing all the right things, and you're like, hey, do you finally want to meet? Sure. Yeah. Okay, let's meet over here. Let's have some ice cream or some coffee. Or let's meet at the museum because I really like this, that, and the third. You shouldn't be having to spend $100, $200, $300 just to ask somebody if they're even qualified to be your partner.
Yeah. 100%.
You know what I'm saying? Now, once she qualifies, go all out. She deserves it.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to work and earn your provision. And the bitter black woman came after me and was like,
"How did he even find your video?"
Hey, I'm
up there
like a big deal. I don't know what you're saying.
Have him come on the Uncomfortable Truth so we can both bite his head off. That's how I feel.
I threw the challenge out there.
Because I said, hey,
like, you got a show, I got a show. You get your tag team partner, I got my partner. We go at it because I'm telling you right now, he ain't ready for this microphone.
Yeah.
But what we talking about tonight? What we talking about tonight?
So tonight, the Uncomfortable Truth. Our first topic tonight is going to be the Pookies. No, I'm sorry. Our first topic is what is a man? What is a man? What is a man? What is a man? I'm really interested in this topic. I got a lot to say, so y'all, you know what I'm saying, buckle your seatbelt. So yeah, unless you want to go through all of the topics.
Second topic is what you were saying, the Pookie
and the Ray Rays.
Mm-hmm. And I think y'all gonna be a little you're gonna be a little surprised what we got to say about the situation. And last but definitely not least, is the black culture
toxic?
Is black culture toxic? You know?
Our topic.
Somebody said in the comments the link is not working. So I don't. Who's first class? That's somebody you know, right?
Let me see.
It is. Mr. said he's good. Okay. All right. Well, whoever's out there, I don't know what's going on. Maybe you need to restart your computer or whatever. But
yeah, I don't know first class.
The link is good. Okay. So let's get this party started right now. Tonight, we're changing it up. We're not going to do the videos, right?
Yeah. Make sure you guys go and y'all subscribe. You like the channel. If you want to jump in the super chat, you want us to stop what we're doing, Mark, you know what to do. You say it. You say it so well.
Hey, listen, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe, and you like the channel. We can't grow it without your help, people. We can't grow it without your help. Like, share, subscribe, hit the alert bell. If you got something you want us to stop in our tracks and talk about, make sure you hit the super chat. We don't care how much you put in there. $2, $5, $10, don't matter. We all appreciate it. But if you need us to stop what we're talking about and tend to your comment,
hit
super chat.
Yes, let's get the super chat popping.
Okay, so first topic, what is a man? And before we actually go to that topic, let's bring a man on stage with me because I need some backup.
Oh my God.
I need some backup right now, man. Do we got somebody backstage? Whole bunch of clapping. There he is. What's up, that way? DJ that way in the building.
What's good, my brother? What's good? Ma'am, how you doing?
Yeah. Hey, have you met JB yet?
Where's she from?
Baltimore.
Where you think? I
ain't married. I ain't married.
Do you want me to say? Do you want me to say it?
Yeah, I want to.
I just had to make sure it wasn't shorty from New Orleans.
Okay, well, since this topic is from JB, hey, you got the floor. What's you going?
No, I want you guys to go first. Y'all always set me up, and I don't have no backup today. I don't have no backup right now, so you guys go first. We kind of covered this topic in little pieces here and there, but what is a man? What is a man? What constitutes you considering yourself a man?
Well, my definition is this. A man, the word man, is attached to an adult male that has completed work. When a woman starts off in womanhood, all you got to do is just not mess up, really and truly. When we're talking about dating, when we're talking about marriage, all you got to do is just not mess up. But a man has to create his manhood. He has to build his manhood. He got to go to college. He's got to go get a trade. He's got to actually do things in the community. He's got to build up his name and his reputation because you're trying to win a woman's trust. And a woman's trust is not going to be instilled in you and you have done nothing. You have to be able to show and prove that you can provide, protect, and profess your love. I don't give a damn what it is you do for a living. I don't care what it is you do. You can be the dirtiest of the dirty or the cleanest of the clean. If a woman does not feel like you can do those things and check off those boxes in case she gets hurt when she's getting ready to have a child for you, she's not going to do it. And she's not going to stay there with you. Some women will try to create and fix and build a bear. 9 times out of 10, that shit don't work. A man is an adult male that has completed work. It has nothing to do with his age. I'm going to say that again. It has nothing to do with his age. There are 45-year-old boys and 14-year-old boys. You have to look at his work and what has he completed. And you need to check the consistency of his work. You got somebody that has been doing something very well for 20 years 15 years. That shows signs of commitment. That shows signs of an individual who can stay on task. That shows signs as an individual who can be a productive man. You got somebody who's just always jumping around from job to job, career idea from career idea to business idea to business idea. They're showing you that they're not a man.
So let me ask you a question then.
Go ahead.
You have a young man who is in college, right? Would you consider him a man?
No. He's a young man in training.
Okay. So what about if you have a young man who's in the military, early age, 19, 20? Is he a man?
No.
Okay. So at what point does he become a man?
When he has completed work. And what I mean by completed work is he has, because see, in the military, it's a lot fast track. It's a fast track because all of the necessities he can cover. But the last thing he has to take care, the work he has to do is his heart. Because let me say this, ladies, a childish heart is a childish man. A lying heart is a lying man. A cheating heart is a cheating man. I don't give a damn if he can make $1 million on YouTube playing video games. If his mind and his heart is not in the right place, that is still a boy. You cannot just look at provision. You have to look at the entity of the individual. Well, if he has children, how is he doing for his children? If he has a grandmother, how does he treat his grandmother? How does he treat his mother? How does he treat his family? How does he treat the people in the community? Does he own a 1-bedroom apartment, or does he got a 5-bedroom house by himself? Why? Why would a man have a 5-bedroom house by himself? Probably because those extra bedrooms are for people he loves in case they need them. So you need to look at the individual as a whole and not get blinded by the money.
So have you ever came in contact with someone who told you you're not a man?
I told myself I wasn't a man. And I told my ex-wife she shouldn't have married me when she did. I was able to look back at myself and see I was not ready. If she would have married a man that was 10, 15 years older than her, that had already been through all the established. Hey, let me pause real quick.
Hello,
hey,
how are you?
Listen, ladies and gentlemen. This is a special guest. I brought her on from TikTok. She hosts her own show. I've been a guest on her show, and I love her mindset. Go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead and unmute, and I would like you to introduce yourself to everybody.
You got it? You just got to unmute class first and introduce.
This nigga's scared.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Introduce yourself. Who are you? What should we know about you?
Who you are? Where are you from?
I'm good. How are you?
So what would you like for us to call you? You want us to call you class first? What you want you to call you?
Yes, class first.
Okay. All right. So I met her on YouTube, and we were constantly going.
Hello, everybody. I'm first class. I'm from TikTok. My platform is about mental health.
Okay, that's great. So, like I was saying, I was on her channel a couple of times, and I like her.
Yeah, it's not muted.
Oh, you have a delay. She must have a delay.
We have a delay.
She has a delay. Yeah.
So I'm from New York.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, it's a little delay.
Yeah. Hey, drop down and then come back in.
Yes, class first.
Yeah. Go ahead, drop down and come back in.
All right.
Yeah. So like I was saying, I'm sure she'll come back. I was on her page. On her page a couple of times, and I just like the way she thinks, and I asked her to come on the show. So anyway, back to the subject. Mm-hmm. What is a man? And like I was saying, I told my ex that she shouldn't have married me because she should have married a man that was 10 to 15 years older than her, that was already mentally, emotionally, and financially prepared to be a husband. I was trying to figure it out and change at the same time. That's what I was trying to do. And it was
I don't think that makes you not, even at that point, that place in your life, I don't think that's not what makes you a man. I know a lot of younger guys that haven't fully figured their way out in life that still consider themselves to be a man. It's about maturity. And even if I know that there's some 45-year-old boys and there's some 14-year-old boys, like you previously mentioned, but there are still 19, 20, 21, 25-year-old young men who's either had to take care of their families, who's had, had to deal with loss, who's had to work early. Some people will tell you, I've been working since I was 14. I've been working since I was 17. And so you're never, ever going to find a person at 19 years old that's going to be fully developed or matured. But it doesn't mean they're a man. But I'm going to tell you the reason why I brought this topic up and I wanted to discuss it tonight is because oftentimes, now I'm from Baltimore, so I've encountered a lot of people. Then we were in the military together. So I've encountered a lot of people. And oftentimes I come across people, especially in this type of debate, that consider themselves to be a man. And they just talk to people any kind of way. And the first thing that comes out their mouth is, I'm a man, you're going to respect me. And I'm like, but I'm not though. In other words, their mindset is I got a swinging between my legs. I was born a male. I'm grown. I'm a man. And you're going to respect me. And I'm like, yeah, no. And I can't say that when I got married, my husband and I both, and we got married in our late 20s. We're now in our late 30s. So we still had a lot of evolving because people evolve all the time and continuously. But I want to know from women. So class first, I'm interested to hear what you say. And from men, that way, that's you. Tell me what classifies a man, because everybody has a different opinion about what a man is. Now, in your experience, Mark, you justified why you felt like this long laundry list of things considers a person to be a man. But I think it just depends on what other people encounter and their definition of a man. So I want to know, because I've met a lot of little boys who think they're men. I've met a lot of younger men who have they're mature-minded. So
class first, what do you think? What is your definition of a man?
I think there's still a delay for some reason. Do y'all hear delay still?
No.
Okay, because I hear one. I think for my opinion, I feel like someone who's responsible, not just taking care of things, but all around the board, responsible, children-wise, work-wise, how they treat people in general. But I'll be honest, I've never really came across men. It's always boys.
And so did you have to mold? Do you have children? Do you have sons?
I have one son.
Yeah, I do too. Well, I have two sons. My youngest son don't really count because he's 2 years old, but my oldest son is 14. And I think as moms, I'm already grooming him to be manly. So, I don't know. I agree with you. I've come across a lot of boys, and my issue with them is the whole respect factor. It's like, if I got to teach you everything, then you're not a man. If I got to take you out your mama's house, then you're not a man. If you don't know how to sustain work, then you're not a man. If you can't care for your family that you created, then you're not a man. I don't care how intelligent you think you are, how many degrees you have, how many places you've been. If you don't have those basics and those bare necessities, then how dare you as a person request a certain amount of respect from me? So that's where I'm having an issue, because as a woman at 38 that's still being groomed by God, the ideology is he was born a man, he has a male genitalia, you ought to honor and respect that man no matter what his circumstance or issues are. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm having a hard time with that. I need other people's opinion, because Mark said something completely different, which is why I asked him to go first, because I knew this was going to be my ploy. Like, I'm like, yeah, no.
Well, the problem is that the majority of women in America can't determine the difference between an adult boy and a man. And the reason why is because you're not asking the right questions. You literally set yourself up to be approached by nothing niggas and boys. Because when you sit back in the club, when you sit back at the gas station, when you sit back wherever you are, and you're walking through the mall, and you walk by an attractive man, it looks like he's got his shit together, he's dressed well, he's acting in an adult manner, and he's walking professionally, he's talking professionally, he catches your eye, you catch his eye, and y'all look at each other, and you just keep walking, and then you say to yourself, oh, he must be gay, or there's something wrong with him, or he must not like me enough, because he didn't stop and come approach me. Well, did you ever think he's not a player and he doesn't have a lot of practice with approaching women, and he ain't got no fucking good lines, and he might just be getting into his financial stride? Hold on, let me finish. So what you do is you wait for the guys that come up to you and they approach you. And the reason why you run into a whole bunch of boys, because guess what? Boys got a lot of practice of that. They get denied every day and they don't give a shit, because they're going to keep practicing their lines. They're going to keep practicing their games until they get perfect at it. And they're going to keep buying the shit that you like. They're going to keep putting on the shit that you like. They're going to keep driving the shit that you like. And they're going to keep flunking their money the way that you like.
The Wood is the perfect example of that. The Wood, when they was teenagers, the movie The Wood. How they was trying to get the butt, how they was all acting. We get denied. We learned this as a young man. He right. The wood is a perfect example for women to understand how we really be acting when it come to women. The bets and stuff and all that stuff. When we young teenagers, we prepare for this stuff that y'all get. You know what I'm saying? When y'all get entertained by men in the years that it really matters, we've already been prepared and already been shut down, let down, and critiqued our game to understand what is going to get the job done in our younger years. I'm sorry, Mark. I just had to jump on that because you was absolutely right.
No,
My
go
bad.
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Anytime. You part
But
of the
but
show.
but let me speak on this. Hold on. I forgot. My family's starting to go to sleep, and I got these noise canceling headphones on. All right, so I'm going to sum it up like this. The difference between boys and men is just one word in my observation, in my experience with dealing with a lot of males in my life as far as
Mm-hmm.
my military career, growing up in, you know what I'm saying, the urban area, Columbus, Ohio, um, being in the Columbus public school system, seeing that I had my father help raise me, even though I came from a broken home. I lived with my dad at some point in time in my life. So I've seen the effects of my friends who didn't have fathers versus, you know what I'm saying, how I was raised. And looking and in observing my fellow peers is one thing that sets us that I know that sets us aside as far as when I look at them as you ain't grew up yet is accountability.
I love
When
that. I love
when
that.
when a man learns to take accountability for his life is when he becomes a man. He's
Mm,
not gonna make excuses. He's not gonna be talking too much because he ain't got time to talk because he's too busy putting into action because he don't got time to let you down because his accountability for himself is gonna maintain his peace with himself. That's the
yes.
difference between boys and men. So that's just my opinion on it.
Yeah.
Now,
No.
ladies, don't get fooled
Hundred
by
percent.
don't get fooled by these dudes that are just always saying I fucked up and I did this and that's the
Yeah,
reason why
yeah, yeah, yeah.
situation
No,
I'm
no,
But
in.
that's
no.
something different. That's
Exactly.
excuses. Accountability.
He's taking accountability though. He's taking
No,
accountability.
no, that's a catfishing.
Accountability ain't really a mouthly or a boisterous
Verbal.
situation
Yeah,
that can
yeah,
be,
yeah,
Action
you know
is
what
a
I'm saying?
change.
It's a change in behavior when it's accountability with yourself.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
Now,
saying? It
now,
ain't gonna be too much talk. Like I said, it ain't gonna be too much talking. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be more about action because he ain't got time to be, you know what I'm saying? Because he got something to prove to himself, not you, because he was probably brought something to his attention that made him think about, or maybe I am messed up. That mess up ain't got nothing to do to appease your feelings. That's because how he took accountability
yeah.
of how he felt about it and how it made him feel or it attacked his integrity or his moral compass. You know what I'm saying? So that's a big part of what I feel like the difference between men and boys is just the accountability they take over their life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Mark said, most of the men, you know what I'm saying, it all come down to that most successful men take accountability for their life at a part in age where they can be able to keep their life together. You know what I'm
now
saying?
Yeah.
They don't make
let's get
mistakes.
let's get a little uncomfortable real quick.
Oh
Let's do
yeah,
it.
let's go.
Let me say why I believe the majority of women do not select men and they do always select boys. The reason why I believe is a lot of women, and I've been told this by women, when you see a man and you know that's a man and you know he got his shit together
Can't
and you
control
know
them.
he walking in the right light, he can hold your ass accountable.
Yeah, you
Hmm.
threatened by it. You
He
threatened by
can
it.
tell you fucking up. Your,
Yep.
your, your finances are fucked up.
Yep.
Your choices are fucked up. Your house is fucked up. And
Yep.
everything about you is fucked up. So a lot of times as women, you avoid, and I use that word properly. You are avoiding men and you are going after the individuals that you feel more comfortable with. I had a woman tell me she didn't want to date me because she thought I was going to be judging her body because I was always in the gym. Oh, I thought you only wanted to mess with bodybuilders and stuff. Who the fuck want to date a goddamn man's body? I don't give a damn about that. But she didn't want me to hold her accountable for her physical fitness. I had
Well,
another tell me,
here's what I'm gonna say. Here's what
go
I'm
ahead.
gonna say. And I'm a piggyback off of what you just said, but I'm gonna say it in the female version. A lot of women like men that they can be those men are charity cases for them. They like women that they can mold, that they can shape, that they can, we're here in life,
Two can play
and
that game.
I see the potential in you, or you know what I'm saying. So, and
You're saying women do that? You're saying women are doing that?
Oh, okay. Women, we have a tendency, not all of us, but we have a tendency to pick the man that we feel like, oh, I got him, girl. Me and him, we built this together, or I showed him how to do this, or I'm here for you when it comes to that, or I got your back when it comes to this. If you meet a man who has his completely pulled together, then yeah, absolutely, you're gonna have to come all the way correct. You're gonna have to come all the way.
Oh shit! They're good in the building. Go ahead.
Or the fact that they want to raise children, another child, because mentally for them, the things that they have experienced pretty much is they never had the freedom to be who they were, as far as raising their children as young, depending on the ages of them, of raising their children. So now they get to take a boy and raise him and show him things that's probably messed up from them.
So you're saying, like, as if like the woman didn't do her job with her own kids, she became regretful, so she took on a project.
Yes.
Like another man like took him on as a project.
Yes.
And that's really unfortunate. But I'm gonna tell you, there's a lot of people in my life, a lot of men, young men in my life, in my circle, like my sister's husbands, that are highly mature for their age, like literally just graduated from college, got their first house, got married, got his wife pregnant, got a full-time job, working on some CD on the side, and he like 24. You see what I'm saying? And so it really depends on who that young
maturity.
Man is. He came from a single mother household, and he's a black man. You know what I'm saying?
Maturity level. Because I think some people get stuck, right, at a certain age sometimes. So if you get stuck with a parent that was neglectful and you're stuck at 16 or you're stuck at 20, then by the time you become, let's say, 24 and you meet a young lady who's interested, or an older woman who's interested in younger men, then yeah, your maturity level, depending on how you was raised, is not there. And she'll notice that. Well, but her maturity level is not there either, because she's taking you on as a project.
I need the men. I need you guys to start using your platform to really educate the male population on what's a man and what's not a man. I think right now it's so widely common that if you are of the male species and you're no longer in your mama's home, or you have a high school diploma, that you're a man. I'm a man, girl. Who you talking to?
Wait, what?
Who you talking to? I'm a man. And I'm like,
well,
what way, sir? In what way? What have you done?
I have a rebuttal to that.
Of course.
As soon as I finish my rebuttal, Bedgood, I want you to give your definition of what you believe a man is. My rebuttal is this, and I said this on my live today. Ladies, whatever men are in your community, the majority of the men that are in your community, that's the standard you've set to have access to your body. The standard that you set to have access to your body is what, if I'm looking at the community of men and I'm looking across the board and I see nothing but a whole bunch of Pookies and Ray Rays, that's because you've been allowing Pookies and Ray Rays to fuck.
And you motherfuckers.
when men, y'all don't understand this, but as boys, we are looking at 15, 14, 13 years old, when we in the room jacking off, we're looking at the men who are getting access to women. And we're looking at, okay, what did they do in order to get those beautiful women to show them attention? And if it's selling drugs, if it's rapping, if it's scamming, guess what that little boy has just been taught by your actions, ladies. You just taught him, hey, do that and you can get me. But if majority of women in the community are only giving their bodies and access to their bodies and their time to blue collar and white collar, middle class and higher men, then guess what the other little boys are going to inspire to be. So show me a community of ain't shit niggas, and I'll show you a community of vaginas that are allowing ain't shit niggas to fuck.
I guess.
Go ahead, Bad Good. Happy International Women's Day to you too.
I can always rely on you. I can always.
I say that to say this. So I feel it's the old scenario of I'm not just throwing the blame on women, but why not right now? Because it's National Women International Day. So it's the scenario of that mom who gets to at young age get that boy. Not all women, follow me, who get that boy and you know can't stand the father, whatever it is, you know, tell that boy, you know, man up, you the man now, man up. You need to be the man of this household. Mind you, that kid is probably like 5 or 6, but he need to be the man of the house. He doesn't know how to be the man of the house because he has no idea how to do it, and there's no man within the household. Now he grows up more and more, and he's going off with the idea of what he know, what his mom told him. Now his mom is making this ideal man from this boy. She's creating this boy into this ideal man. And we all know the person you was in love with and all that growing up, once you get older, you realize that ain't really what you wanted. Now, when that boy finally gets grown and he gets his own woman, she tells him he's tough. Remember, he was not allowed to show any emotions or anything like that. She tells him, well, you don't open up to me. You don't do this. You know, this is what I want a man to do. This is what I want a man to do. And the whole time, neither one knows exactly what they want a man to do. It all boils down to this. Around the bush, but pay attention. No man can raise a girl to be a woman. These are my views. And no woman can raise a boy to be a man.
The world around you has begged to differ. The world around you has begged to differ. I mean, we can do statistics, but who gives a fuck? Like at the end of the day, the world around you has proven that not to be true, because there are a lot of broken women from really bad relationships that invested in their children to ensure that they did not turn out the way the men in which they dated.
That's fine, but what I'm saying is
failure is higher than the success.
That woman raised the child. Don't get me wrong, but that boy got ideas of a man from that coach. That some male figure gave him ideas of that man.
No,
that's true.
No, it's not. It's not true. Any man that achieves success, by the time he's on somebody's stage or platform and he's giving his thank yous, he's 99% of the time going to thank his mama. There are judges, there are police officers, there are people who are in the military. These are men who, you know, they attribute their success and a hard life. We have a first sergeant or a sergeant major. What's your homeboy who always come on here? He always talks about his mom. He's from New York.
I agree with that, but if you pay attention to those, receptions of those awards, if you pay attention to those, they do thank the mom first, absolutely. But you pay attention, they go to a story. I want to talk about something. They go along the lines of this. I want to talk about something. I was in 5th grade, and this coach, he inspired me, and he done this and he done this. I learned what it was to be a man from him.
Hold on. Hey, let's welcome in our newest guest. What's going on? Hey, right now the topic is, what is a man? What is a man? Real quickly share what
very objective topic.
What is a man? What made you a man? When did you realize you became a man? What categorizes? What has other men that are influential to you? What did they tell you a man was? I want to know.
Oh, this question is for me?
It is.
Yes.
Okay. Hi, everybody. How y'all doing?
Hello. How are you?
I'm going to have to keep it really brief because I'm actually in a class right now, but I wanted to listen in. But I will share really quick what I believe makes me a man. And so, first of all, I guess I like to say that everything that I was taught by others uh, about what a man was a lie, and I don't so I don't even go into any of that. But what I will say for me, what makes me a man is my ability to be able to be responsible and accountable for all of my actions, um, and to be someone who has a sense of integrity about all things. Um, and not to say that I'm perfect. That's not what I'm trying to imply. But the fact that I know that I should be held accountable and I should operate in integrity is my foundation. And then so then I'm gonna I think I'm gonna leave it at that for right now.
Those are the intangibles. Give me a few tangibles.
In other words, you don't live with your mom. You own your own home. You drive your own vehicle. You have a college degree. You know, those kind of tangible things. Do you feel like those things make a man?
No, I don't.
So let me ask you. If you did all those things you described and still lived at home with your mama, because you haven't went out and completed anything as far as earning a degree or getting a trade to be able to take care of yourself and your mother or your children that you've created. Now you are a man because you take accountability of all your failures and lack thereof accomplishments.
Well, if I was a man who had,
being a man is something that is earned, not given.
okay, yeah, I understand that. Yeah, that's why I said my integrity and my accountability would be my earning. But okay, but let me say this. Now, if I was a man who had not accomplished the ability to be able to take care of myself, then I would consider myself to be a man, though.
That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about right there.
Yeah, I mean,
you got to complete work. There's got to be tangibles when it comes to men. Women.
No, what he's saying, what Mark is saying, you can have all of the accountability for yourself in the world. You could be responsible. You could be
have the greatest integrity.
But the tangibles, but if you have not accomplished work that would say, I'm a degreed man, I have my own home, I blah, 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 I drive my own vehicles, I actually have multiple vehicles, I have investment properties, I'm an entrepreneur. If you haven't accomplished anything in life, you could still live home with your mom and be accountable and responsible. So does that make you a man?
So we're basically saying it's all subjective.
So what you're saying is like, so again, you're saying about like I don't have a degree and I don't have multiple vehicles.
No, it doesn't matter if it's a degree. It could be a trade. It could be a skill. You cannot just have the intangibles and have done nothing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I agree with that. So there should be some tangible. Yeah.
Everything that you said, encompass it into work and complete work. If you're in college and you tell a woman, I want you to imagine you're introducing to one of these women and you're getting ready to date them. And you're like, oh, well, I'm 45 and I'm in school to do this. Or right. I plan on opening a business, but right now I'm still living at home with my mom and she's helping me out because I fell on bad times. Guess what she's going to say? Okay, thank you, but no thank you.
I think the opposite. I think that's still a man. He may have fallen on hard times. He may be dealing with something. Hell no. I mean,
exactly. So get the fuck out of here with the bullshit.
Hey, bro. Mark, she got a point. You got to think about my situation 4 years ago.
Okay, but you can fall out of manhood, ladies and gentlemen.
No.
Yes, you can.
No.
And let me explain how. Hold on. Let me explain how. MC Hammer. That's how. This motherfucker had, $11 billion and blew it all and had to move back in with his mama. Guess what? The day he sold his last flashlight, his last concert, it was him and 6 niggas with flashlights talking about Hammer, I am. It was terrible. And he lost it all. And he had to go and start completely over. Guess what? When he was at the lowest of his low, he had to take his man card, turn it in, and go back to work. And then when he accomplished new work, that he was able to get his man card back and say, I can provide, I can protect, and I can profess. You cannot claim the title man if you cannot do manly things. If you fail in your access on your process to becoming a man, you can lose that title. You can lose your rank. I don't give a damn what y'all say, women. You will never understand this.
No. I mean, I understand what
Man
you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
Man has three roles.
That just means that he's a man who made a mistake. That just means he's a man who fell on hard times. That just means you do not remove everything from him.
Yes, you do.
He fell on hard times. I don't agree with that.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Let me change the situation. Let's say I'm your husband, right? When you met me, I'm doing everything right. I got it all together. Then all of a sudden, I get hooked on crack. I'm smoking up everything. I done spent all the money. We done lost the house. No. Let me finish. It happens. It happens. And so hold on. I done lost you. I lost you. You divorced me. You had to go start over. You went and found a man, got remarried. Hold on, let me finish because this happens every fucking day. Every day. And you leave me, you go find a man because I have lost the ability to claim the title as your man. Happens every day. And now I hit rock bottom and I crawl myself back up and I get myself healed and I get myself clean and I go back to work. I get a new trade. I rebuild myself. And then I go find another woman and she says, I am proud of the man you have become to be. And then I meet you again. And you say, Mark, you know what? I'm proud of the man you've come to be. I had to start over because I lost my ability to be able to claim the title man. It is a privilege. It is not, and I'm going to say it again, it is not warranted or guaranteed to you. It is a privilege.
So I tell you what.
Now listen, we're not talking about legally. We're not
talking about
prestigious
club.
Because legally, your ass is gonna get convicted as a man.
Class first, help me out on this one. So let's just say, because we need to give a more realistic example. Remember, from the beginning, that way said it's about accountability. So you taking accountability. See, if you're in this dead situation for an extended period of time, you don't have no accountability. You don't have no recollection of responsibility. You don't have no sense of nothing. Then and you've fallen all the way off. You've jeopardized people's health, all of our finances. Let me tell you, there's a lot of women out there who still stick by men that's like that. But let's talk about a more realistic circumstance. Let's just say you're in the mall. Let's just say you meet this person. You're in the mall. He's pushing a UPS cart. For me, I'm good on that. My husband make $60 an hour being a master electrician. And I'm saying we talking almost $200,000 a year. So that ain't my story, and I'm good. Okay, and I just want to throw that.
Talk your talk.
Okay, I just want to throw that out there. However, if I walk in the mall and I meet a nigga that's pushing a UPS cart because he got to drag the boxes in here, and he was, had a previous life that was more extravagant, and we get to having conversation, and he's like, the truth of the matter is, I kind of fell off. That to me, that's still a man. You didn't took accountability.
JB, what was the verb that you said? What was the verb? Hold on. What was the verb you said at the beginning of your sentence?
I don't remember.
What was that man doing?
Working,
yeah.
Pushing that's work completed. You just proved my point. Now, whoa. Now, if he was sitting in the mall on a Game Boy, exactly. You gotta complete work. Now, let's transition with this exact same statement. Because we're gonna do a smooth transition. Is a Pookie and a Ray Ray a man?
Fuck no.
Class first. Talk good. Talk good, because you got me.
Pookie and a Ray Ray a man. Operator, let's transition right now.
So let me
Pookie and Ray Ray. Ray Ray.
Let class first talk. What you got, Mom?
So I heard what he said when it came to drug addict, right? So does that apply to somebody that was in an accident or in a coma?
No. Medical, no. Because that's not his choice. That's not his choice. And plus, you should have insurance to be able to take care of you in that situation. There's no insurance to take care. No, it is reality. You have vehicle insurance, you have home insurance, you have auto insurance. Everybody has insurance. So if there is no insurance for crack, you can't.
Okay, that's such an extreme
Aflac,
example.
no, there's no duck coming in.
That way. Can you help? Can you help, please? Can you help, please? That way. Talk good, please. Somebody.
Don't you smoke crack?
And that's it, Pookie. And Ray.
Yeah,
Pookie,
when it comes down to it, when a man can fall off, but it's about his actions after that happening. It ain't about it. It's not. A man can become a Pookie when he starts blaming everybody else for his problems instead of doing what he need to do to get on his job.
So he's still a man, even in his brokenness, even on his hard times.
No man,
you know, even when he's revising himself.
But I'm gonna say this, Mark, and this is just to play devil's advocate on what you're saying. I don't even know if that's the right words to say, but what I'm going to say is this: a man, once a boy becomes a man, if he does fall off, him being a man won't allow him to even deal with a woman in that situation until he's back on his shit.
Because he cannot claim that title with a clear mind. Think about it. Who unallows themselves
because for
most out of men and
one,
women?
as a man,
who unallows themselves more out of men and women? Who unallows themselves the most? Who
men
the most?
Men.
46% more.
Why?
Men do 46% more.
Because they have a hard time dealing with failure and heartbreak, or
when you lose that title, man, because you can lose it, and everybody's known you to be the man. That is the strip of our power. It's the strip of our being. See, y'all will never understand that all the work from 19 to 29 to 39. I had to work so hard to get here, and then I fucked up and lost it all. And some people can't fathom the thought of starting over, so they check out.
Or maybe they never checked in.
Well, no, because
fatality.
maybe they never checked in mentally.
You tie that into a relationship.
Because when people unalive them,
checked out of.
You tie it into a relationship. You take the essence of a man in that relationship, and once that woman has stripped that title or the essence of that manhood from him, he's no more. He's not
he stripped himself. He stripped himself. Ain't no woman strip him. He stripped himself.
He was already stripped before he entered into that relationship.
Not necessarily, no.
Yes.
Mentally,
well, you're right. He was stripped because he shouldn't have went in a relationship with that woman. I agree.
Well, hey, listen, we're talking about Pookies and Ray Rays, and I want the men to tell me, why do you believe that Pookies and Ray Rays are making the majority of the babies in the black community?
Well, number one, there's an equivalent to Pookie and Ray Ray in the white community, and his name is
not our community. We're just
talking black right now.
I know what we talking about. I can say what I want. Now, like I said, there is an equivalent in the white community called Johnny, and he's the same trailer park trash, crap piece of man or wannabe. So it's in the white community as well. But Pookie's and the Ray Rays. One word I got for him is lazy.
No, you know who Pookie and Ray Ray were?
Lazy.
Pookie and Ray Ray were those top tier athletes in high school. They maxed out in high school. They tapped out.
Facts.
That all the women want.
And guess what?
They got them. Meanwhile, the ones the men, they were still blossoming. They were still growing. They were still right there.
Let me let this nigga
cook. All that water.
Let this nigga cook.
But they didn't want. Remember, the women didn't want that. They didn't want that. The guy with the glasses, the one who's about books, or the one who's going to be that thespian. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and throw a little Michael B. Jordan there too.
Oh, look at that!
Boom!
Look at that!
Right on time. Right on time. So that right there, that man growing. Pookie and Ray Ray will still get him because guess what? Pookie and Ray Ray, they're a top tier athlete in high school. Oh, and they had that quick money, that dope boy money. And the women love that because they can keep them flashed it up with whatever clothes and jewelry and hair and nails. And who knows? Maybe you two may have fell for someone back in the day.
Oh yeah, I know Pookie's got.
Now you get mad at Pookie and Ray Ray. Pookie and Ray Ray, what I call they sorry. They ain't nothing. They ain't this. No, Pookie and Ray Ray. You all fueled Pookie and Ray Ray.
Can I tell y'all something?
Hold on, let me finish my point. The women, not the men. The men had nothing to do with it. The women fueled Ray Ray and Pookie.
Of course, nigga. Of course, I expect you to blame us. I expect that. I'm about to bite your head off. I expect that.
I'm not Pookie or Ray Ray.
That's what I'm saying. In this case, you're not a man because you're not taking no accountability. So
I'm gonna take accountability for Pookie and Ray Ray.
I've never been a Pookie or Ray Ray.
But no, on all jokes aside, my exes didn't become Pookie and Ray Rays until they was no longer with me.
Nah,
that's bullshit. You just recognize it.
I'm telling you, there are a lot of men out here that their level of survivability, and I really don't want to put no names out there, but my ex-husband, which is the father of my oldest 2 daughters, right?
Okay.
He was in the Marine Corps just like us.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He had a little hip problem, you know, he had to get out on medical, whatever. But by the time we divorced, and not because he was hurt, but because he was a severe alcoholic. But by the time we divorced, his whole life went downstream. He was never able to recover. Now he's still home. And he barely pays his child support for grown children, which at this point, I really don't care. I just let him keep it because I believe I have a belief system, and I'm religious and I'm spiritual and I have a relationship with God. So some things I don't waste my time on because I know I'm replenished in other ways. So, but he's unable to pay none of his child support.
What was his highest rank when he was in Marine Corps?
Sergeant.
If he didn't make staff NCO, all non-staff NCOs are still having the ability to become Pookies and Ray Rays.
That's what I just said. That's what I just said.
I know.
That's what I just said.
But so did you enable Pookie / Ray Ray?
Military is
I don't know because we were active duty.
College degree.
You did.
Military is the longest college degree you can ever take because that shit take 20 years to get the certificate you want. That shit take 20 years.
You and I both. I don't know
whatever you decide to check out. It takes a long time to get that at the end of that certificate. So just because you went into the Marine Corps or went into the Army don't mean shit. It's how you went out. Just like the motherfuckers in the military, just like motherfuckers in the NBA, in the NFL, motherfucker. Okay, you went to the NFL. You didn't even finish your first contract, motherfucker.
Let me tell you something. There's a lot of Pookie and Ray Rays
that's enabled by the women
that help sustain them, and when that relationship dissolved, they went downhill.
So
y'all, tell me why do you think? Hold on, let me get y'all something because he ain't got to speak yet. Y'all, tell me why do you think Pookies and Ray Rays in the Black community are producing the majority of the children?
Well, I mean, I guess to keep it kind of simple, I would say it because they probably had the most time out of all the brothers in the community.
He did it.
Idle time.
Give that motherfucker a round of applause, operator. Give that motherfucker a round of applause. He just won the prize. He won the goddamn prize.
But I'd also like to say something else. So if I may, is it JB?
It is. I'm the co-host. In case y'all didn't know.
Okay. Yes. So I like something that you just said because I could kind of go along with something that I believe as well is that.
I'm talking about truth. Don't agree with her just because she's co-host.
No. Seriously, I was actually gonna say this before she mentioned what I'm about to say, but anyway, when you mentioned about Ray Ray and Pookie turning into that after they got out of the relationship with you, so I'm a firm believer in that. You really, I should have said this earlier, but I'm a firm believer in that a male cannot be a man without a woman. So I think you have to first attain that status in life. You find your wife and become married. And become one with a woman before you become a man. Because I believe what the scripture says, that God made man both male and female. So it is. I mean,
you are absolutely entitled to your opinion. And let me tell you something. From the beginning, Bedgood said it's subjective. In other words, it's based off of people's experiences.
So now
And
you want to agree with me.
a lot of men out here that were groomed by good women, and because the relationship did not work, or because
you want to agree with me now, you want to agree with me then,
it doesn't mean that she did not have an impact in his world. And a lot of times when the man finds the right woman, his manhood levels up, because she is designed to give unto him. She's designed to support him. She's designed to be his crutch. She's designed to be his helpmate. She's designed to build him. She's designed to see what his eyes can't see. She has vision. She can pull out of him and extract out of him the things that are in him that he doesn't know how to extract himself. And that's the reason of relationships. And I don't care if they don't agree, because it's parts of them that still got to grow up. No man, listen. The right woman, and there is something about you that needs to be fed. Some men are prideful. They need a woman to honor them. Some men are egotistical. They need a woman to be loyal to them. Those women, I'm not listening, I'm talking. And sometimes those women, if they are capable of being that to that man levels up. He found the missing piece of his puzzle. And I don't know why Mark is looking around. He's the prime example. He's a man without a woman.
I'm gonna let y'all know why I'm making that face in a minute. Watch.
I've seen the best of my brother when he's in relationship with a woman, and that's on God. He don't want to admit that. I don't know the rest of y'all like that, but on God. That's why whenever I talk to him, I speak to his woman. Because even whatever she's doing, she could be doing it internally in ways he may not even realize. And that's the magic of a woman. That's the majesty of a woman. And it's continually evolving. And you should want that. As a man, you should want that.
JB,
that's what I do.
One question for you.
Nice.
With all that,
wait, Mark.
JB, with all that,
that's a nice subjective view.
Hold on.
Shut up,
All that said, I got one question. One question for you, JB. One fucking question. With all that beautiful sermon you just spoke,
yep.
Man said, you don't become a man until you get a woman. So let me ask you, JB, when we was in Okinawa on Gate 2 Street, how many non-men did you allow to get access to you?
Absolutely none, nigga.
Exactly. God damn it. That's why I knew what you said was some bullshit.
No, it's not.
Hold on. I let you speak.
No, you didn't. You was talking.
What he said, I was like, when you was up there, like, you right, and blah, blah, blah. In the back of my mind, I'm like, JB would have shot your ass so fucking down so fast in the worst way ever. Listen, look at her face. Look at her face. I was with her. I see niggas come up to her in the club who had really good intentions. No. The first thing she'd be like, look, this is the dude who wants to get a woman so he can become a man. I'm JB. This is the dude. What? Hi. I just think you're really beautiful. What? Boy, if you don't get the hell away from me with the loudest voice, and embarrass this nigga. If you didn't come to her as a man, correct, with all your shit, not all, but all your shit. In order, you was gonna get the biggest shotgun shit. Listen, fatality to her on purpose. We used to send niggas to her on purpose.
I did not know that.
Well, holla at me, dog. You can get it, dog. She be over there. Look, the nigga. We
Mark, when was you in Okie, bro?
Wow, she done. The nigga gone. She be like, look. He be like, hey, baby.
What year was you in Okie?
She be like, thank you.
Mark was in Okie quite a few times.
Bye.
Yeah, I know. Okie.
Bye.
Mark.
Bye. I don't remember. Me and Mark was in Okie the same time. The first time, because we was both sergeants or something like that, or he was a sergeant, I was a corporal. I feel like it was 2006.
No, 01. No, we were over there in 01.
No, that's not it then. I came in the Marine Corps after I graduated from high school, 02. You're old. I'm not.
Over the second time. It was like 2009.
Damn, JB, we serious tonight, huh?
Yeah, because you started with me, so I'm gonna bite you. I'm gonna bite you.
Well, let me say this. Let me comment on what
No,
y'all.
it's because I was in a certain place in my life.
Oh, all of a sudden now it's a certain place.
So listen, I'm being dead serious. I was coming out of a relationship that was really, 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 really bad. And I actually was on my I'm gonna use every nigga I see. So I didn't want a nigga that didn't have no money because I was using all of them. And so honestly, I'm being honest. I'm being dead honest because I could have physically pleased myself. I was not concerned with getting no more bodies. I was already a young mother and I was trying to excel in the Marine Corps. If you wasn't a gunnery sergeant or a first sergeant, I wasn't messing with you.
If they don't have them rockets, they ain't for you.
Exactly.
I'm being dead serious.
That's why when she was saying
if
that
I met
bullshit,
you
I'm
in
be
the
like,
club, if I met you in the club and you going back to the barracks, that's a no for me.
You ain't got no rockers, we ain't rocking.
What was the
serious? So
what was
I
the hotel with the grill on it?
I was in a place in my life where I just was not like, yeah, I wasn't dealing. But I do believe that a man levels up when he is in partnership with the right woman. And it's natural.
The word you used was man.
He levels up. He gets
exactly,
a whole
but you
level
gotta at least be a man first.
Yeah, but you were messing.
You
were creating Pookies then, baby.
Go ahead, y'all.
Pookies.
And she got to take a chance on him to see if he's gonna level up or not. And sometimes you don't make.
Go ahead, y'all.
You were creating Pookies. That's what you were doing.
They're good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna beat you up like.
No, let our guest speak. Go ahead, y'all.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So before I forget to say this, I want to appreciate everybody. I'll say thanks, give thanks to everybody here on the panel that served in the military, because I appreciate that. Really sincerely, right? I'm honored to be on this panel with you all this evening for that reason alone. But I also want to say it's a real thin line between what I was saying, and I think what Sister JB is saying about being a man, as far as like being with a woman, being a man, and maybe being a man and not being with a woman, right? And I'm not trying to contradict myself either, but what I'm gonna say is this: is that it's like, say for instance, like a brother that's been really successful in life and done some amazing things, got himself together, got like I say, maybe have house and some investment property, some vehicles, a couple of them, and all this, that, and whatever, savings and things like that. I mean, I applaud that, right? And I'm not saying he's less than a man who has a woman or a wife. What I am saying is this: that this is how I see it. Then you just you a male, right? Because that's how we were created. We were created as males. This is how I see it. We were created as males, and so you're just a male man. A male person who has been really successful and made some very good decisions, or sound decisions in life. And like I said, that should be applauded. You know what I mean? And I think that male deserves a good woman. But I just really don't believe. I think it takes both. Because like the sister was saying, the women, they add to us. They like, it's certain things that we may not see, or we may not be able to reason or work through without their aid. And then, like I said, it's just really, it's just I can't state that like based on my experience in life, right? I haven't been able to shake that understanding since I've come to that understanding. Now I'm a man. I'm not married, right? So I'm not a man. I'm a male because I'm not married in my eyes. I'm a male, right? Who I feel I have some successes, but I feel as though, the reason I'm not pursuing a wife right now, because there's also some other things that I need to work on within myself or for myself, right? Individually.
It's called calling yourself a man.
What's that?
I said, hell yeah, it's called calling yourself a man. That's what you are.
Well, I hear you, right? I hear you, and I can easily say that, but we have a saying. I'm from the South, right? And we have right? You from the South too?
I'm from Alabama.
Okay, so you probably have heard that terminology that said we can make your mouth fry fish. Have you ever heard that before?
I got you.
Right? Right. So that's what I'm saying. So everybody that say they're a man ain't a man. That's my point. Just because you can say it, because
So
I can say it.
what you're saying right now, you're not a man right now.
Yeah, I am saying that. That's what I'm saying. And I'm
Yeah.
not, but I don't have any judgment for any other
I got
male.
you. I mean, that's the definition of knowing self, seek self improvement.
Yeah.
Right on.
By the
Let
way,
me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Before an electrician can do his first job as an electrician, what must he become first?
Before he can. Okay, so they want. So before an electrician.
What does an electrician have to become first before he complete his first job as an electrician?
You got to be a
You have to
student.
be an apprentice.
be an electrician.
He has to become an electrician.
Well, yeah.
You
Yeah. Yeah.
cannot
Exactly.
obtain a woman and take a man's position in a woman's life if you are not yet a man first.
That's not true.
Okay, that's your opinion. But last time I checked, hold on. I can't really, and I don't mean this in any, I don't mean this in any negative way. The track record that our black women have right now of selecting, I don't think that y'all can really give a true comment on what and what is not a man. I think this needs to be.
I don't fall in that category, so I'm gonna say what I want.
I'm just saying that the selecting rate,
I agree,
success rate of your selection, you need to probably listen to men to understand what a man is. And I have no problem listening to women to understand what a woman is. I consider you a woman, JB.
I sleep with a man every night.
I understand that.
My husband has had
process to become that.
I got white friends. I understand.
Is a road that is not commonly walked. It is not commonly picked. A majority of adult males have not reached manhood. The majority, and I think the women would agree with me. If you meet 100 adult males, what's the percentage of them that will be men? Actually doing the right things, got their shit in order, have the intangibles and the tangible things all lined up, ready to go, ready to marry a woman and handle those responsibilities in the right way. What do you believe the percentage of 100 men would be that?
Maybe 20%.
Okay, so like I just said, with the number that you just gave me, it is a road that is not often walked and not often traveled. So those that have and are currently traveling that should be listened to. Hold on, we gotta.
My husband, my husband, y'all.
All right, I feel like men need to conquer first, comma. Let me say that again. I feel like men need to conquer first, comma. Pause for effect. Build and develop themselves. Period. I'm gonna read that again. I feel like men need to conquer first, comma, pause for effect, build and develop themselves, period. I feel that Brother Yah to me is speaking more about a husband.
Hey, that's Brother Bird. That's Brother Bird. That's my dude.
Everybody, you know what? That's my dude. First of all, that's my man. Okay, let's just get that.
Now, look, we've gotten off a little bit. Listen, Pookie,
this ain't last week's podcast.
Let me say my last thing about Pookie and Ray Ray, and then we're going to move to the last topic. This is why I believe Pookie and Ray Ray are producing the majority of the children, and it has a little bit to say. It has a little bit to do with what y'all said.
Be uncomfortable.
No. Listen, men, and I want you to listen to this, and this is for everybody who is listening live and for everybody who will ever listen to this podcast. This is the reason why Pookie and Ray Ray are producing the majority of the children. Pookie and Ray Ray have a priceless asset that blue and white collar men, working men, middle class and higher men cannot provide. They have a priceless asset that blue and white collar, middle class and higher men cannot provide, and that priceless asset is time. They have the ability to be available all day, every day, to handle anything that she wants. If she wants to come home during lunchtime and get a little bit of loving, he's available. He's sitting in the house playing video games. She controls the money. She controls the car. She controls the time. She even has access to his phone records because she pays the phone bill. And she falls in love with that accountability and that control. And that is something that blue collar and white collar men will not allow and cannot provide. And this is where it goes wrong. As soon as another child or a life form is brought into the situation, and that time asset, the value of that time asset plummets into the ground, because time does not pay for diapers. Time does not pay for child care. Time does not pay for Similac. And she starts looking at him like he is nothing. He is a useless entity. And then she disposes of that useless entity. And then she comes and finds the blue and white collar man to be a stepfather. And this is the repetitive cycle that is killing the black community, and the reason why good blue and white collar black men are sitting on the sidelines waiting to find good women, because good women are with bad men. And until we break this cycle, we will continue to be last in every statistical category. When it comes to our children, we will continue to have almost 80% of our children born out of wedlock, because Pookie and Ray Ray can provide something that blue and white collar men definitely cannot and will never be able to provide that. And then when she finally does settle down and she gets that man and she goes into that life and she starts to judge the time that you spent with her and the time she spent with Pookie and Ray Ray, and she'll go behind your back and fuck him again.
I agree with you, Mark. I agree with you. Can I tell y'all something that's personal?
Wait. Say it again. Say it one more time. Record. Go ahead.
I said I agree with you, fool.
Woo!
I second that.
God damn, I got all. Hey, this is uncomfortable truth history. I got every woman on the panel to agree with something I motherfucking said.
That's my boy.
I really do. I was getting ready to talk personal, and I think I might still say it. Let me tell you. Oftentimes I talk about my husband because I believe in covering my marriage. I believe heavily, even though I'm not making up anything that he has done, and you guys have experienced him on a couple of occasions, but I do believe heavily in covering my husband. I say that to say that there have been times in our life together as husband and wife where we've hit rock bottom. A lot of times people think that we just arrived, but we didn't. And what I realized is that I had to grow accustomed to him not having time, him being out in the world, building a legacy for our family, working hard so that we can live the way that we live. That's been his struggle with me for a long time. Because as a woman that desires a man, I'm like, nigga, like, can we now, mind you, we're both working though, because though he is outside of the home, I'm in the home nurturing the children, and I'm going to football practice and cheer, and I'm, oh, you got this program at school, and and I'm doctor's appointments, and I'm making sure the dinner is cooked and the house is clean and the bed is made and the pillowcases is changed and all of that happy horse shit. And by the time my day comes to an end, I'm like, nigga, pay up. I need time. Like, run me some time. And it took me a long time to understand, like, the exchange. Either you want a certain lifestyle or you want a nigga to sit home with you all the time.
Woo!
And I had to grip with, I need him out there building for us. And that is his nature. And when there's been times where he's been laid off of work for one reason or another with COVID coming by, I noticed his nature was to, and that's not the only reason I knew I was married to a man, but that it further helped me understand I got a man, because his nature was, I got to get out there and provide. I gotta. And when we was having our first child and we was transitioning between homes and we was trying to purchase, he was working, I was doing all of the paperwork for the mortgage company. There was a time where we've had to do pawn stuff in order to make it. And that's what I mean by when a man falls on hard times, he's still a man, because I'm living proof that he recovered and that I was an additive to that, but that it was already in his mindset, I can't stay here. So we work together, and we've had some rough times. We've been together 10 years. We had some rough times. There were times where I believed this nigga ain't. And then I had to eat them words because, or at least eat them thoughts, because I'm like, oh, there's some things that we don't get. We don't know how to pick. We don't know how to choose. We don't know how to analyze. I just got lucky. I got lucky because he turned into something great. But when I met my husband, I just wanted to be saved. I just wanted to be in love. I just was tired of being hard, tired of being rough around the edges. I was tired of being the only provider, and I got to do this and I got to do that and I got to work. And I ain't worked since I got out the Marine Corps. I have not worked. Well, I did work in the prison system, but besides
that all right, y'all, listen, we got to transition to the last.
I made it happen. In other words, I know that y'all don't just skip over my stuff.
Oh, I thought you was done. My bad. You wrapped? Are you landed yet? You need to land?
I landed. I landed.
All right, hey, operator, let's drop everybody. Y'all don't go nowhere. We're going to bring you back up. We're going to transition to the last subject. Okay, the last subject is, and I think this is probably the most important one of the night, is Black culture toxic? And this is not a laughing matter for me. I think it's something that is detrimental, that needs to be talked about, and needs to be talked about as many times as possible until we get the message out that what we're doing is self-destructing. It's self-poisoning. Like, we are literally killing ourselves in every aspect, in every manner I can think of. I believe that toxic relationships and toxic people come from intake of toxic things.
Toxic
if
culture.
Your eyes are constantly watching toxic vision, if your ears are constantly hearing toxic things, if your mouth is constantly ingesting toxicity, how could you not be toxic? How could your relationship not be toxic? I told my woman, listen, I don't give a damn who, what, when, or where. Me and you are the portals of negativity and positivity. It's a choice to allow unnecessary negativity inside of our home. And our home is wherever the fuck we at. If we in the car, if we walking down the street, we in the mall, we in the house, no matter what, I don't give a fuck about that phone. I don't give a fuck about your family. I don't give a fuck about whoever it is you know. If they're trying to bring negativity through me, it ain't making it through. And the same thing better happen with you. So, Black culture, music, media, movies, food, I believe it's all toxic. What you think?
Yeah, no, I want to say I'm always, when it comes to stuff like this, I'm always subjective, because I think that there are phenomenal things about the Black culture that I adore and will never get rid of. I think that there are other parts of the culture that need to be redone and need to be fixed. And I think there are cultures of other ethnicity groups that we need to take some from. And a part of that is being real closed-minded. Like we the Black culture has a tendency to be so prideful of what we do own that we're closed-minded to the things that are around us. And there are certain, like the Jews and the Asians, they all live under one roof. They all multiply their money. They all take care of the elderly, and they move on. For us, I believe it's a little excessive, but we could probably apply some of those principles to our culture. What I will say when it comes to relationships, and this is where I'm about to land, is that you have to develop your own culture within your home. You have to, because you can take what you grew up on, and your woman can take what she grew up on, and then the two of you come together and you figure out what works and what don't work. And just because you grew up with, everybody and their mama, she might not want to be around all them people. That doesn't mean it becomes the culture for your home. You got to figure out how to do a little give and take, how to have a little bit of sacrificing on both behalves. But I just think, as far as the Black culture is concerned, there's a lot that we need to learn. There's stuff that we should hold on to. There's stuff that we should be proud of. There's stuff that we should, but there's other things we need to let go of that. And I think that's why I'm subjective, because I feel like it's a little bit of give and take. So that's my spiel.
Okay, operator, let's bring back the guest and let's get a couple other takes because I think that we're going to have a few different views. Whoever we have left back, just go ahead and bring him up, operator. I will say this while he's doing it. What's up, Nish? What's up, girl?
What you guys doing?
Hey, for everybody that has the black on both sides, can you do me a favor? Turn your camera sideways, turn your phone sideways. Your camera will automatically adjust. There you go. Bam, bam, and bam. There we go. Okay, listen, I need y'all to be as honest as possible. Remember, this is called the uncomfortable truth. And this is the last topic of the night. And I want you to be as uncomfortable as you can. I need you to give me what you believe is the most toxic portion of Black culture here in America. And when I say Black culture, I'm talking about Afro-American culture in America.
I go first.
Go ahead.
Mama's boys. In the Black culture, Black mamas are way too damn protective over their sons. They don't like their sons to marry women and move on. That's how I feel. That's the one I despise the most. It's like, ma'am, he's not your husband. He's not. He's your son, but he's not your husband. Let go. Let go. It's time. Pop the titty out his mouth. He now has a new Black woman in his life. Move on. If you want somebody to be your husband, find you a man, get you a man, keep you a man, and that's it. Your son is not your man. You raised him, you groomed him for someone else. That's my take.
Yo, all I heard was take money. I just heard the background. I love that. That was nice. Okay, who's next?
Zeus Network.
Zeus Network.
What is that?
I think it's talking about BET.
No, Zeus Network.
Zeus.
That's what those always fighting. What's that show?
What does that have to do with Black culture?
It's damn near being Black culture now.
What is it? I'm not following.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's damn near being Black culture.
It's like 11 hip hop.
That's another one.
Oh,
That's
okay. So you're
Like
talking
television?
about media, black culture media.
Yeah.
All those TV shows that's got all the ratchetness and the fighting and the misbehavior.
Yes.
Yeah.
The reason I say that is because there's an image out there and it's playing into that stereotypical angry Black woman. When I'm on the panel right now with three amazing women who, know their shit and about their shit, but the image that is showing is that you want to be this bad bitch, you want to be this right here, then you must do this, you must do this, you must get this done, you must act and talk like this or here. So
that's shine and blue face, like Soldier Girl said.
Yeah, that's that. I hate that when it comes to the Black culture.
Okay, there is a lot.
It's evolving to that Black culture.
Black culture like a motherfucker.
Yeah. Now, well, here's the thing. It's evolving now. I don't think a lot of people are mistaken people's personal things of what they do as the Black culture. There's a huge difference. Huge difference. I can go out and say, well, my family only eat this right here. Growing up, we ate this. Oh, that must be a Black culture. No, that's not. That's what my family did.
Yeah.
You kind of get what I'm saying?
What up, Denisha? What you think?
I mean, being that my kids are coming up with that social media and the phone in their hand all day, I mean, for me, it's definitely got to be social media. I look at my daughter. I was looking at her just yesterday. She works with me. And when I tell you that girl don't take the phone out of her hand, like she really does not take the phone out of her hand. So I think it's social media.
Yeah, I've gotten my daughter accustomed to, I will take that phone from you.
We got a super chat. We got a super chat.
Who we got, Major?
Your husband again. He's in it.
For the win. My man.
WP influence and glorify the worst of the community. We know what you mean by WP. WP, do y'all agree with this? WP influence and glorify the worst of the community.
Oh, white
What do you say?
people.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
WP, I didn't know, babe. I didn't know. WP,
God.
white people influence and glory the worst of communities. Yep,
Gotta get kicked off the network.
whitewashed black people. I cannot stand a cracker nigga. Okay, but
This is Jeffrey, guys. He has an opinion.
Hey,
What's going on, Jeffrey? What you got to say?
Nice to meet y'all.
What's
I
going
would
on?
say the worst thing about black culture by far is gangster rap music. That's the worst thing by far, from the 90s to the 2000s, even out of the 2010s, 2020s. You know, growing up in the 90s, I'm from Louisiana. We was idolizing Master P, the Hot Boys, Tupac. I mean, everything negative. It affects the way these kids now is getting tatted on their face. My brothers had gold teeth in their mouth in middle school just because we seen Cash Money and the Hot Boys doing it. Tattoos all on the face, the guns, the gangster image, the want to sell dope, because we was hearing about people selling dope, that they're a gangster, that they're a trapper. You know, out here in Atlanta, it's all about being a trap star. I'm trapping. I'm in the hood. I'm a Crip. You know, now we got gangs all in Louisiana. We ain't never had no Bloods in Louisiana. Now we got Bloods and stuff all because of rappers say he a Blood. You know what I'm saying? So to me, by far, you go on and on with the rap from selling dope to the way they dress, the way they talk, the way we degrade women, degrade ourselves, shooting each other up. That rap music by far, I mean, if you take gangster rap out the picture, I think the whole black community would be different.
I agree with you. 10 toes down, young man. 100%.
Okay, what's up for class first?
I would say us as a culture, we're using the N word and the B word. Because this is how we defined us as women and us as men, as using those words. I had a lady come on my platform and tell me that when we get close, this homegirl, she's gonna call me the B word. I dropped her immediately because I'm not that. I'm not a B. That's not who I am. That doesn't define me. We're not going to get close as sisters, and that's the word you're going to use to define me as your friend. And I dropped her out my platform based off of her saying this. On top of saying this, she says she loves the word she loves the word cunt to call herself.
What?
So I said, you can't sit with me.
Wait,
and I
what?
dropped her
Facts.
out of my life, period. We can't sit together.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So there's two words we need to take out.
Okay, y'all, it's on you. You coming up last.
I agree.
Okay, I missed a little bit because I got kicked out or whatever. I mean, I fell out or whatever. But so, am I supposed to be saying what I think?
Right now on the black culture. What do you think is the worst toxic black culture trait, or the worst toxic trait within the black culture that we need to get rid of?
Ooh, I actually think the music is it, because music is so influential. But I guess outside of that,
we can come back to you. Major had a super chat that he put in, and I know we spent a couple seconds on it, but I think he wanted to speak or elaborate on it, so I brought him over. Babe, what you got?
Oh, all I was gonna say was everybody was saying pretty much y'all all saying the same thing, because you got to think about it. We don't own nothing, so technically, what you see on TV, the music that you hear, and the glorification of all the negativity are done by those said people that is only making the glorification of the worst in us seem like it's about all of us, but it's really not. If you think about the status of rap was about unification, bringing us out, especially the Black Panther Party and things of that nature. We love ratchet TV, but that's not our only thing that we do. We used to have an entire network, but then they took that. You know what I mean? Viacom stepped in and took that, and we were showing other things. Look at Tyler Perry and how he's moving and stuff like that. All his shows are not ratchet.
So the poison that white people put in front of us is the worst thing in the black culture. Because
I'm sorry, brother. I gotta disagree. And the only reason I say that is because if I owned it if I owned all those media platforms, music, social, movies, TV shows, if I owned all that, I'm going to put out what you will buy. So regardless of the trap, you got to be the dummy to go and step in the trap.
Yeah.
Like it's not going to work if we don't consume it, if we don't buy it. If I make music and I got all my R&B artists and I'm looking at their numbers, but then I'm looking at the numbers that I'm looking at the numbers of the men who are producing the gangster shit and the women who are producing the don't need a man, don't need this. Guess what I'm going to do?
You're going to play that music.
I'm not only going to play it, I'm only going to sign those types of artists.
Yeah. But that's what he's talking about. That mentality in the Black culture. We need to get rid of that.
Exactly.
The idea that we're
That's
so
us.
easily moved.
That's
Yeah.
us.
That's the Black culture. We got to get rid of that. Yeah. So y'all
I think what he was saying is that it's the WP that is putting it out only for us, and that's the reason why we consume it. Is because
it is that.
Watch this. The only reason you know about Glorilla, right, is because they bigged that up.
The only reason why I know about Glorilla is because 1 million Black people played that goddamn song 1 million times.
But ain't nobody really buy it because Black people, we don't buy music like that. We stream.
Yeah, they do. It's called streams now. They don't go and buy CDs like our old ass. They don't go buy CDs now, but it's called streams. So if she would have played that song talking about I'm FREE, folk nigga, sweet, ugly ass, bug looking ass motherfucker.
But that was created. You know what I mean? With modern women nowadays.
Exactly. But listen. Over, I would say we're going as far back as Little Kim. We're going back to 96, 94. Foxy Brown. We're going all the way back. They have a legacy, and we're seeing it blossom. Just like all the NBA players got all these skills because they all grew up watching Michael Jordan, our Black girls grew up listening to the females talking ratchet and nasty. We had positive rappers. We had the Queen Latifahs. We had the Lauryn Hills. We had those. Guess what? They weren't selling as much because everybody was in the club. I used to be scared of the dick. Not those lips, endless.
Yeah, I can't even.
See, look at him. Look at him.
I can't even.
Listen, I was a DJ for 15 years. You know how many times women came up and asked me to play a slow love song? You know how many times women came up and asked me to play some positive shit? No, listen, it was such a hypocrisy for the women that would come up and ask me to play the most disgusting, degrading shit. Motherfucking young gangster had a song called what was it? It was like it was just about that. It's just about booty. It's like that booty, and we shake that booty, and that booty, and then he said, "Drop that booty on the floor. Show your mama made a hoe." Nigga, I heard my daughter play that shit. I kicked the fucking shit out that goddamn radio. Kicked that goddamn radio across the goddamn house. Kicked that goddamn radio across the goddamn house. And then when I did that, I know. But when I did it, I had to say to myself, Mark, you're pushing this music every weekend to thousands of people. How you gonna sit up here and be mad because your own kids is listening to it? And then it started to affect me. I started to go to the club and I started to be disgusted when I was watching my people listen to these lyrics and enjoy talking about death, talking about drugs, talking about calling our Black women bitches and hoes. And they not only was listening to it and celebrating it, they were requesting it. And then with the same mouth, 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later, a day later, talk about don't disrespect me. You need to protect us as Black women. How the fuck can you out your same mouth tell the same Black men that called you a hoe all weekend and you enjoyed it? Then on Tuesday at work, I gotta call you Mrs. Jackson. No, bitch. You the same bitch that was in the club dancing on me and I called you bitch and you gave me some pussy. That's who you are, because you cannot switch and you can't come back and forth over the goddamn track.
Mark, was you being a Pookie and Railway at the moment? Is what you saying?
Hey, no, I was feeling like it. I had a Pookie and Ray spirit, goddammit. I had a Pookie and Ray spirit. But listen, listen, my baby just gave me a note, and I'm gonna read this note. Normalizing obesity as being thick and instead of being unhealthy. That is the toxic shit. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, our girls that are in their 20s right now, that are literally going and gaining weight on purpose. See, I remember JB in 2009. Man, she was walking around fucking like she had just ran 80 miles, nigga. She had this. I was like, God damn, nigga, do you run track? She was just veined up and shit, nigga. And everybody used to come to me, be like, hey man, who your friend with the butterfly tattoo? Don't even waste your time, bro. Don't even waste your time, bro. But at least back then, she was in shape. So now, as an older woman, as an elderly woman,
I know he didn't say elderly.
I know the hell you did.
That's wrong. That's all right. It's all right.
As an elder, we know we all old. We all old. We all old.
Nigga,
but
you old.
You are attractive to your man because you had a foundation as a younger woman. These women are going around at 19, 20, literally trying to gain weight to be thick.
Yep.
And they don't understand that when they hit 40,
they're gonna be
40 adds on an automatic 40.
My daughter too.
40 and 40.
I had this identical conversation with my daughter, same thing, because the thing that we are not really attached to right now is peer pressure in school with these kids. They put a lot of pressure on these kids. My son has been experiencing it. He's been coming home stressed because same thing with the rap music. Got to have a lot of bitches. Got to be talking to a lot of girls all at the same time. Got to be thick. And my children are slender. They built like that because that was how I was built for many years.
Hey, we got a super chat. Hey, put it up on the screen.
I'm sitting right here.
I'm about to say, did you do it? My phone?
Operator, put the super chat on the goddamn screen. Anyway, it says, my sis is not elderly.
Facts.
Period. Thank you, Soldier.
Here's another toxic thing in the black community.
Thank you, Soldier Girl.
Us lying to ourselves, talking about black don't crack. Nigga, we get old too.
Look at my face.
I know.
Flawless, dude.
Listen,
Thank you. And I got 7 children that been stressing me for years.
Got you. Listen, here's the problem. Yes, all of y'all are cute. Listen, man, put her ass.
The cheeks away, girl.
Look at nobody.
All of these black.
I'm
Listen, all of you black women, come here, baby. Show them your face. Look at this.
If she get the twirl, I want to twirl.
Look at that. She is 42. Yes, y'all are still beautiful. But you got to understand that this notion and this rhetoric makes women believe that they have an eternity to start family. It's toxic. We got to stop spreading that, oh, girl, I'm still young. We got grandmas in the club talking about they want to have kids.
That's crazy.
This is toxic.
Let them have them geritol babies.
Geriatric pregnancy is probably at its highest ever in the black community.
I just had a baby a year ago. I just had a baby 20 years ago. Yes. Yeah, what? My oldest daughter is 19. My youngest daughter is 1.
Put your husband on
screen.
screen.
Gosh, girl,
Put your husband on screen. I want to ask him a question. Put your husband on screen.
I'm stressed.
Hey, what was your face when she came and brought you the test?
Lie.
I got the video. We got the video.
Listen to me. He wants more kids now.
Wants kids, but they're telling me that we was pregnant. I was shocked. I still was shocked.
He still wants kids now. And that's what I mean by the Black culture and toxic traits, because the Black family will be 60 years old still trying to raise some. No, I'm good. No, I want to pursue my career. This man still want more kids.
The pull-out method is going to be the topic next week.
If you're married,
listen, what we talked about right now, we said music, speech, TV programming, and basically health. What other aspect of a community and a culture is there? That is almost every aspect of culture that you can think of. Traditions, what happened?
But
we're talking about everything that has to do with it.
Let's not just focus on the negative, and I have to play the angel's advocate here, because the Black community has a lot going on that's kept us together for centuries. I'm talking, okay, family, the way that we treat and love and honor and respect.
You don't have it no more.
Listen to what I'm saying. There are lots of Black families across the United States that still believe in celebrating, loving on one another, bigging up each other, sticking together, all of that. There's still a lot of that. There's
you know when we get together? You know when we get together as a Black family?
Not funerals.
Not funerals. You knew what I was about to say.
Not funerals.
It's not just funerals.
It's not.
Listen, y'all are forgetting. We are old.
Nigga,
if you don't stop saying that, I don't know who you talking to.
The average human lives to be 70. 70.
Hold on. My husband about to protect
35 and over. If you're 35 and over, the bell curve, you over here.
No.
Okay.
My husband about to protect me.
You're over here. Over there. You're on the side.
Well, we're not old. I'm just saying, you probably feel like that them steps is coming closer, but we're not old over here, bro.
No.
You can't handle the truth.
35, you old.
Disagree. 35 is, 35 is the new 25.
Get the fuck out of that bullshit. You
can't make this shit up.
70 years on average to be on this earth. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm trying to tell you, and what I mean by this in my closing statement, every aspect, including family and lack thereof, with 80% of our children are being born out of wedlock to new mothers between the age of 20 and 35, we are losing and we have lost everything. Our music is toxic. Our speech is toxic. Our TV programming that we give the views to continue to have season 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is toxic. Our health is toxic. Our food is toxic. And everything that we come to love is toxic. So how in the hell can we continue this and think that we ain't gonna have toxic relationships, toxic children, toxic results? Stop using the word toxic if all you're going to ingest is toxicity. Your eyes, your ears, and your mouth. All you do is ingest toxicity. So I'm going to say, hey, listen here, ma'am, sir. Your relationship, your children, and your home is toxic because you are toxic. Period. And until we stop it, until we make a change, and I don't mean a few, I mean the majority, we need to stand up and start coming together, especially our women, because I don't care what any man say. Our women are the leaders of family and community and culture, because you are the ones who pass it down to the children. That's right. I said it. Women, you are the leaders of that. Men are the leaders of infrastructure and the building and creating of environments to make a safe place. We go out and bend the environment to our will because that's why God gave us the strength to do so. And while we are out bending the environment to our will, you are passing down tradition and culture. So if you go and bury your son and then you get in the car and play Young Dolph with your baby in the car seat, you are repeating the cycle of death of the Black community and spreading the toxicity in the Black community and in the Black culture. So you and me have to come together to stop it and kill it. I'm done.
You win. Perfect.
Well, what I gotta say is that ain't nothing wrong with the Black culture. We need to come together and stop letting other cultures permeate who we are. Our problem is we don't stick together. Good, bad, right, wrong, or indifferent. Our issue is there's so many black men hating black women, and then you mad when we by ourselves trying to figure it out. So what we need to do is make our black men stand up and take full accountability. You tell us what you want us to do in the culture. You tell us what you want our kids to watch. You tell us what you want our kids to eat, and then you'll have a better life. And I'm done.
Okay. Anybody else want to give their closing thoughts?
I do.
Yes.
I go with you, Mark. As far as the women, we need to hold women accountable as well. We need to stop just blaming the black men and hold women accountable for their actions as well. It's not. It's women too. And we don't hold women enough accountable for for a lot of their actions that takes place. So we need to hold women accountable too.
Sheesh.
Shut up, Mark.
All right, go ahead, Denisha.
Class first. Hold up.
It's all been said. Everything.
Hold on. Wait now, boy. Wait now. Hold on. Did you just what I thought you just? Girl, I was not expecting that, but no wonder Mark like you, because he said that from the beginning.
Let me say why. I say that because it's just, you have a lot of women that always blame men for everything, and they're never saying the parts they play.
Mm-hmm.
They rather blame the man than blame themselves, because then that means that they have to take accountability for the things that they do. And so when they don't want to take that accountability, it's because they don't want to stand alone.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. I'm fucking with you, but it's true. No, it's my experience, and then we're gonna move it on. But my experience, I have a 19-year-old daughter, and our relationship in the beginning, when she was like between the ages of 14 and 19, were really tumultuous. But that's because that's how she's seen me interact with certain people. I've always been known to bite a nigga head off. I have very low tolerance and patience for bull crap. I'm a very loyal and dedicated and committed person, but I could not blame my husband for that, because he has a real simple, calm, cool, collective personality, as you can tell. Right? And I'm really like, rah. And when my daughter would bite back in ways where I felt like was unacceptable, I couldn't point the finger at nobody but myself. So that's my minuscule example. I'm sure there are same examples on a larger scale, but I understand. Now I'm bringing her full circle. So the thing about me and my children is I grow right in front of them. I intentionally show my children that was wrong. I did that. Now we changing how we do things. So I understand that accountability. It just takes a village, man. It takes all of us.
It does.
All right, Denisha, closing comments.
Like I said, I think you guys said everything. Y'all pretty much said it all. I don't have much to add to that. I agree. On both sides, except for okay, I lied. Excuse me. I gotta backtrack a little bit, because just like she said, women who bash men, the men that bash women, Mark, the men that bash women, I'm sorry, but you are also toxic for our community, because I can't tell you how many times when I hear, because you and I are friends, whenever I'm scrolling TikTok, I feel like I'm inundated in all your messaging, and almost all of the messaging is something negative to say about women, so much so that I can't listen to it all. And then I think that's toxic too.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
I don't care. You can ask me. I'm gonna tell you. So while you sitting over here and it's a good rhetoric, but just understand you're part of the problem until
let me rebuttal. Let me give a rebuttal real quick.
Okay.
I was always told that if the shoe don't fit,
don't wear it.
Don't wear it. So
That's
when I'm talking and I'm giving constructive criticism and I'm bringing
understand.
out, because listen,
It
all
don't fit 9
45
times out
years,
of 10, but it's
all
still
45 years of my life, all 45 years of my life, I can remember at every stage of my life hearing all of the shortcomings of black men. I cannot think of one TV show, one magazine, and we didn't have social media or newspaper that told the shortcomings and the wrongdoings of women. And I thought growing up, it was nothing but the men that were fucking up. But see, what used to happen was women were a little bit smarter back then. You kept your mouth shut. You wasn't going around telling all the fucking scandalous shit that y'all were doing and all the fucking people you were fucking on the side. But unfortunately, a group of women decide to get on the internet and start telling their fucking business. So guess what? Now we got shit to talk about because I got almost 40 years. I ain't gonna say 45 because I don't remember past 5, but 40 years of hearing all the shit not to do so I don't be labeled as those men. I took care of my kids. I went and got a degree, a trade. I retired. I was able to provide. I didn't go to jail. I didn't sell drugs. I avoided all that shit. I ain't shoot nobody in the street when I got mad. I controlled myself, my emotions. I did all that shit. I heard y'all talking about black men. Now I'm watching my black women. And as a whole, the majority of you are not what it is that is a necessity to continue to promote black families. So therefore, I will be that knight that God has to tell you the uncomfortable truth.
Hey, my,
like it top.
hey, my
You
brother.
get a thumbs up from me.
Hey,
And
my
let
brother,
it
let me
hurt
tell you
the
something.
onions of your
You want the mic on?
discrepancy.
He's not gonna finish
Mark,
talking.
please stop. You
Woo!
look ridiculous.
Let me tell you something, brother.
Hey, I need everybody that's watching to hit the super chat and give us an offering. We're going to close the churches, the churches of the doors in the church. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you still ain't did your closing marks.
Yeah.
No, the young man had something to say. Young sir.
This is
Hey,
Jeffrey.
hey, bro.
Jeremy, I'm sorry, Jeremy.
I agree with you 100%, but in her defense, this is what I tell her. I ain't gonna lie, as far as raising her family and her life, bro, she is an exception because I vent a lot like you. You know, I have kids for women that I'm not involved with anymore. And you know, I'm 41 and I go to church and I hear how preachers talk. I listen to podcasts, radio, all that kind of stuff. And she is in defense a lot of times, but I have to let her know you are an exception. The way you carry yourself and raise your kids and how you conduct yourself, and she all about business, very independent. You know, she ain't doing a lot of the thought stuff out there.
I'm not talking about her. You're right.
Exactly. So she always get offended when I do it too. But I'm like, you don't understand. If we're not talking about you, you gotta look. You got women out here having babies for dudes that is shooting people that don't have a job, don't do nothing but sell dope, or sleeping around in the street. Then when they had a baby for them, not raising a baby right, then they want to dog the man. What the hell you was doing when getting pregnant for him? He was pregnant, he got pregnant. Then they want to go to church. When you go to church, like you said, every church you go to, I never see a pastor dog out women saying y'all doing.
You ain't lying, boy. You ain't lying.
These men need to step up. These men need to do this. These men need to. Well, y'all are the one bringing the children in this world. We ain't burnt. You can try to. You know what I'm saying?
I know you like. All right.
And see, you're like us, but we're not talking about you. We're not talking about you.
No, and so if that's the case, and I bangs with it, sir, I thought you was a youngin. When you, I can I just be honest? I thought you was a youngin. You say 41, black
This
don't
is
crack.
beautiful.
Yeah, I'm 41. You know,
This is beautiful.
I'm
Yeah,
just
you
saying,
are.
you go to church, they dog the men out. They need to
But
step up
here's
and be
what I
a
wanna
father. They
say
need to do this. They need to do that. But they ain't telling nothing to them
But
women
here's-
that was at the club the night before with the children at somebody's house who they don't even know. Get anybody to watch their kids. They go and get BBLs instead of doing what they supposed to do with their money. They more worried about their body work. They want to get a Lexus or an Audi, knowing they can't afford it. Got their kids walking around starving while they got a BBL driving a Lexus. All that stuff.
Fatality.
But you ain't talk about that.
Yo, he's spitting bombs tonight.
They ain't talk about that.
Hey, put that last super chat up. Look at this motherfucker.
As I tiptoe down to the altar.
Well, here's what I want to say. Here's what I want to say.
Y'all.
We got a few more minutes. I just want to read.
Y'all didn't get to do his last closing.
I know, but I want to reply to Jeremy real quick.
Okay.
Is that okay with you?
So
attitude. Let me stop with the attitude. But what I want to say is that if we could spend some of our time, though this is the uncomfortable truth, Mr. Jeremy, if we could spend some of our time focusing on the exceptional woman that's standing next to you, the women that's like me. Mm-hmm. I'm not familiar with First Class, but I don't have no reason to think otherwise. Mm-hmm. Right? If we could take some of our time and focus on the women who are doing it the right way, mm-hmm. we might can get somewhere. You can't build from a negative. You got to build from positive. You gotta start with the women that are doing the right thing. That's the people you got to put in front of. And then the part that killed me is the men that got so much to say, the men that have so much experience with these type of women are the men that convinced the women that it was okay to be that way in the first place, right? So she a thought, and you just gonna take full advantage of her being a hoe. Now, 40 years later, you want to talk about how she let it happen. So my thing is, we gotta I'm talking. So we gotta start from the beginning somewhere. We gotta start with the if and I'm not saying you, I'm not attacking you under no circumstances, sir. I want you to understand that. But if we're gonna talk about what she's done or what he's done, and we over here talking about this, that, and the third, we gotta find somewhere in the middle to start with the positive. And let's talk about our accomplishments. It's Women History Day. Let me tell you all of the great shit I've done in my life. Let me tell you all of the moments I haven't slept with a nigga. Let me tell you all of the moments that I have fed my kids and they wasn't walking around hungry and my ass is homegrown and it ain't got no BBL in it. Let me talk about all of the moments I did make the right decisions. Can we stop getting up on here talking about all of the bad shit?
I concur. That's
all I'm saying.
Well, not to cut all of y'all off, I do that on my platform. There's not enough women who comes to my platform that want that because they're too busy trying to run behind the men who's putting them on blast about their behavior. So they don't come to a platform that I have that does promote that does promote unity for the community. And I do have women that do come to my platform that does promote that, but there is not enough women that wants that. So starting is something I did, but it's not enough women who come. They fight against it.
I would say this last thing, and this is something I said to my woman when I met her. I said, good men can't find good women because good women are with bad men.
I agree.
Go ahead, y'all.
No, not always. I just agree.
I just want to say I agree with everything that's been said. I appreciate being here tonight. Very refreshing. And the last thing I wanted to say was, because I was in the middle of trying to describe what I think was the worst part of the culture. And I said music because that was the first thing that came to my mind. But as I continue to think about it, the thing about the television program that came up for me, because my own personal experience, right? So I'll be real brief. I grew up and I was born in '73. So I grew up in that era, and there was very, very little censorship on television. I was a part of that generation that had to watch the HBO, soft porn stuff and all of that. So I got exposed to all of that kind of stuff, right? Which over sexualized me. And I suffered because of it. I'm gonna leave it at that, right? But as I got a little bit older, when I was in my early 20s, I came to the understanding that for myself, I used to say to myself, I feel like I grew up with a third world mindset. So when I would see on television and stuff when they talk about third world countries, I used to be like, well, I'm like a third world person because it was like I got the culture that my family offered me, and then the white the WP culture mixed in, and then I came out with that third world mindset, which was all of that mixture, right? And it was primarily the reason why I did a lot of the things that I did. Not so much the gangster rap and you know what I mean, but it was because of what they promoted as well.
Mr.
And
Y'all, can I ask you a question?
right, go ahead.
Kind of personal. You don't have to answer this.
Okay.
Have you spent time in prison?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, I've been to prison 3 times. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't pick that up at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's I don't know if we have enough time. We are out. We are fresh out of time. We would love for you to join us again.
Right.
Because what I'm picking up in my spirit is that, and this is another thing about the Black culture is self-hate. And I think the first statement that kind of struck me was when you said, you know, I'm a male, and then okay, and I understood that perspective. And then as I begin to listen to you more, even in that most recent statement, I heard you say the third world mindset.
Right.
And I think the unique thing about men and a man or a male that becomes a man is that circumstances don't always have to evolve him into that manhood. It's something instinctual, right? It's like we can have all of the worst circumstances in the world, but when a man wants to just instinctually, he feels the need, the urge to just multiply, to just evolve, to just mature, to just grow. It don't matter what circumstances are around him. It's almost like a light bulb that comes on in his head. And that's the distinct and unique thing about men. Women, we're a little bit different because we're more emotional. But I said all of that to say I would like to hear more of your story. I would like to hear more of, you know, what shaped you and when the light bulb kind of went off and what your experiences are, and you know, all of that. You know, I hope I'm not out of line here.
No, not at all. I mean,
But
Please come back.
I would not have been here tonight if I wasn't willing to share all of me. You know, that's how I am. And so I would love to come back. I appreciate the offer. I will come back, sure.
Yeah. I think sometimes when men encounter hardships like that, even if they're self-inflicted, they actually come out stronger than a person who has not had those same struggles. And so your mindset is going to easily be beset because people aren't going to understand how you arrived. So you know, your mindset about manhood is different because of whatever your circumstances, mitigating or extenuating circumstances may have been. And you've prevailed because you're here, you're speaking openly and intelligently. But I certainly picked up on that. I'm like, this man got a struggle that's deeper than what we're talking about right now. And it feels like it's humbled you. And it feels like you're not moved by someone else's opinion of you. It feels like your mind is made up and you've dealt with enough shit. It feels like, and so I commend you. You know what I'm saying? And whatever, you know, I commend you. I'm gonna leave it there because now my Holy Ghost gonna take over. But
he's a part of my platform.
Well, listen, hey, I appreciate everybody coming on, y'all. Hey, we're gonna definitely want you to come back because we're gonna. Are you a father as well, sir?
I am father of 2 girls.
Next week we're going to be talking about all things that are covering all different types of fathers. So it's great for you to come on and share your story. And for everybody else that's out there watching, we appreciate y'all. And we hope y'all come back next week. Hey, operator, can you drop our guests? Hey, y'all, thank you for coming on. We really appreciate you. We'll see you next week.
Stay backstage for us, guys, if you don't mind.
All right, JB, another one.
Yeah, listen, I enjoy this every week. I'm stretched. Every week I'm pulled out of my comfort zone. I'm having to face some uncomfortable truths. I'm having to, you know, download and digest some uncomfortable truths. Honestly, guys, I just want to tell my co-host, my host Mark, you are the visionary behind this podcast. A lot of people don't bang with you like that because they don't like to hear the uncomfortable truth. And that's why some shit is subjective, because I think your experiences have shaped you. And I know you did the humanize at the end of your statement or whatever, but I honestly believe that God has placed something in you that's going to help deliver a lot of people from some crap, and we'll see what happens. I just think it's an extraordinary experience, and the more we can get people on here, like you said, it was another show, the better off people will be. And you the yin to my yang, you my brother, bro, and I bangs with you heavy, and I appreciate the opportunity to and I'm speaking from my heart right now. I really do appreciate the opportunity to share this seat with you, because I know that it's a passion of yours, and it's actually always been that way. And I've always seen that in you also. Let me just say that from the very beginning. I've always seen you as the guy who had the controversial mindset, but that's because you think beneath the level. You think beneath the surface. Your mind goes places where the rest of us don't even cover or consider. So people need to consider themselves lucky to come on here. He wild now. He a wild boy. But his heart is in the right place. So I just want to say, another show, The Uncomfortable Truth, is crazy.
I've tried this before with other people and it didn't work out because they weren't on my level, as far as not having to do with finances or anything like that, but as far as being able to know me and who I am and where I'm coming from and why I'm saying what I'm saying. So therefore, when I said it, they only took it for surface, value. I called you because I remember the talks we used to have at work. I remember the talks we used to have on social media. I remember you calling me in the middle of the fucking night at 3:00 in the damn morning, asking me, am I okay because of something that I had posted on social media. I got family all over the damn world. Not one motherfucker reached out. And here you are. I hadn't talked to you in months. And you just reached out and was like, hey, are you okay? So I knew you were genuine, and I knew that you were tough, and I knew that you'd be able to handle my words and be able to come back. So when you just had that moment right there, and you prophesied, damn near, if I said that correctly, what that man had been through, that was a crazy moment. I just had to sit back and I was in awe, because I was just like, wow, I ain't gonna lie, that was a wow moment. And it's the uncomfortable truth that he shared, and you gave him a comfortable avenue to be able to do it. And that was like, wow, because I didn't pick that up at all. And I'm usually a good judge of character, but I didn't see that coming at all. So I appreciate you too, sissy. And for everybody else out there watching, I hope you enjoy the show. Please remember that we talk about all these things to help each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's always to help each other, regardless of what you think about me, regardless of what you think about my co-host. Don't come for it because I got it back. It doesn't matter, because somebody received something from our words. And next week, we got another show coming for you. And we ain't going to spoil it by telling you what it is. But if you want to close, baby girl, you got it.
Yeah, I think next week is gonna hit hard. I hopefully, you had a moment probably about 5 shows ago. You had a moment we was talking about your children, and I think next week is gonna be like that for me. I want to thank everybody out there. Uncomfortable truth. Let me leave you with this. Everybody has a toxic trait. Don't contribute to your toxic traits. If you see something wrong, fix it. If you have a man in your life and you dogging that man, you stripping that man of his identity, if you're breaking that man, if you're disabling that man, if you're enabling that man, if he doesn't know he's a man, deliver that man to somebody else. Let somebody else train him, raise him, build him, grow him, shape him, mold him. We need more men in our community. And I agree with Mark 1000%. You're going to have to accomplish something. It's not enough just to be accountable. That's what I want to say. It's just not enough. It's not enough, because word service and lip service, that can be, whatever. And stay away from the Pookies and the Ray Rays. You got to take value in yourself. Have you not heard these men talking? They're saying it's our fault because we opening our legs to the Pookie and Ray Rays. So the Pookie and Ray Rays is going to stay around. We got to do better. That's the uncomfortable truth. I'm your host, your girl JB. That's my boy Mark McBride. Come back to next week, Wednesday at 9 p.m. Thank you for joining us. Uncomfortable Truth.
So